first together. And guys, how are you feeling about this one coming into Overpass? Obviously, this is a pretty difficult situation coming in for ViCi because they almost closed it out in the previous, and now they've got to go all the way to this third map. It's not ideal.
All I really want to say, Mitch, is that I'll just let you know my last 3A was actually with Harry and Hugo, so you got some pretty big let's say shoes to fill.
Yeah, I can imagine so. It's okay because Dinko only takes a couple of minutes anyways to get things rolling and really get in there. So it's fine. We heard that from him earlier on, so it'll be a two-way fairly soon. I'd say he'll fall asleep. Yeah, we're looking at the knife round at the moment, Jensen. I mean, look, Overpass, it could be pretty important depending on which team manages to actually win this one, and it looks like it's almost a foregone conclusion.
Well. They're giving Dan King a little bit of a chance here. Let's see. He's got the little skeleton knife. He's done a little bit of damage here, but finally going forward. I would just run if I was Dan King. Get them to go down the ladder. Just try and stab them while they drop down. Easy way to go about things, but they run him down. 3 players versus 1. Not going to work out too well for Dan King. He cast a knife round. Beautiful.
There you go. I wasn't quite leaning for that, but Dinko, he wanted to run away with it, so we'll let you have it. So, with the knife round gone, Tyloo, they're over on the T side to start things off. This is a pretty good opportunity for ViCi. I mean, if they can get off to a solid start, build those foundations on the CT side, we could be looking at a pretty decent position to at least negate what happened to them last time.
I'm excited. Yeah, I'm very excited. That was very well timed.
Nice 15-second pause while each person waits for the other. Boom, talk over each other. All right, so we're off to a great start.
We're fumbling the ball here. This 3-way. Maybe they'll have more practice.
I thought you've had 3-ways before, Tom, but this is
this
is a fumble. Come on, you should be taking Dinko and guiding him by the hand.
All right. Anyway, back to the action. Summer with the P250. He's got a smoke and a flashbang, and they're gonna run down Kaze, who's stuck in the bathroom on his own, and he loses his head immediately.
I was just gonna see how long we could go, but I can't hold on to it.
I mean, we can go 45 minutes if you want, man. You can just let this play out if you want.
Not from what I've heard, Dinko. I don't know.
Okay, right. 1 minute left on the clock. It's 1 kill from somebody. Zoking going down, and pressure is there from Tyloo. They've taken the A-bomb site. Bomb can get planted easily enough. Advent shuts down Summer. And while Attacker and Dan King, well, they're looking solid.
That they are swinging in here with the pistols. Jam Young, though, he's been a big player in almost every game that we've seen him in. As we were saying, player of the tournament, but doesn't quite matter when you lose your head like that. Because it's all down to Advent. 1v2, P2000 in hand, and pretty much no chance to actually get this one done, especially without a kit. They're just playing Ring a Rosie, running away, and it doesn't look like he's going to get it done.
Well, yeah, especially because it's Advent.
Bit of BM. Love it. I feel like that's what this is. It's going to be myself and Dinko casting, and Tom just being really cynical in the corner.
Yeah, I think that's how this should work.
This is the dynamic, yeah.
I'm the analyst, you know?
Like, look at the good stuff they did, and Tom's like, they're trash. Look at that.
we can counteract each other. I'll be a little bit more positive, I suppose, and Tom can give them the harsh reality. I'll make sure that they don't get to a point where they're too sad.
I mean, it makes sense though, right? Because we've got color, we've got play-by-play, and we have toxic bald. So we're
that's what I go for. Might have to add that to my bio. It already says bald, so I can just add toxic bald.
Yeah, exactly. It's like very sarcastic, toxic bald.
I mean, I've played a lot of games with Tom. We've played CS, we've played Valorant. I think, yeah, it just about suits him. The right title. I'm not saying
you just don't need the bold title.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just toxic.
Who's it we were playing with? It was Mikhail for a blast. It just goes, is Mitch always this toxic?
Yes, he's probably more toxic.
We were winning that game as well.
Mitch's neighbors. I do fear for Mitch's neighbors. I hope they're deaf, Mitch. That's all I hope.
They are. We had to be very selective about that when moving in.
Do you need hearing aids? Yes. Okay.
Yeah, perfect.
Stuff's moved in. There we go.
Oh, well, Look, Tyloo picked up the pistol. Obviously, a good start to the T side. Now they've got the rifles. Now, I want to take a quick look at the investment they've made. They've gone for 2 SMGs. The Mackey's coming out. It's not too heavy. But when you look over towards that CT side, they've gone in for pistols, an SMG, a scout, the full force buy up in round number 2. And I like that. You know, it really speaks about the confidence that ViCi have coming into this side. We could see them taking an eco, playing it very passive, but they want to bring the fight to Tyloo right away.
Attacker trying to play with a little hole.
Excuse me?
Not going to see anything towards shorts. Instead goes back up towards middle and joins the rest of the team as they approach the A bomb site. Tyloo have strength in numbers, 3 AK-47s, 2 MAC-10s, but we'll see if this ViCi force buy can do anything. It's going to be a retake if they want to try. And I think at this point, as soon as they hear the bomb go down, because surely Kaze can't do enough to delay, I think you might actually just consider the safe call immediately if you're ViCi, because you're going to go in and attempt this retake, you're probably going to walk out losing, right? So better to go into the next round with something than nothing at all.
Very insightful point. But no, it is true, obviously. And especially now with the scout picked up, I think this is just a hard save, right? Because you can drop that over to Kaze. Yeah, he won't have armor, but I think that's perfectly acceptable. They realize the scout's been taken and that they're not getting poked in for any further aggression. So I think Tyloo is starting to realize at this point that it's probably a hard commit to a save from ViCi. Now, the question is, do they commit towards hunting this down? I think the MAC-10s can afford to, possibly. But considering in the next round, obviously, there'll be more potential for ViCi to do damage. I would rather that they actually stopped hunting and just took the round win for what it is.
You guys are doing a great job, by the way.
Thank you, Tom.
Thoroughly enjoying this.
We'll start after just directing questions at you, Tom. Maybe that'll work.
I don't mind. You can do that.
What do you think of Summer's performance so far, Tom?
Oh, you know, it's it's been a bit rough, but then again, when Dan King runs around killing everybody, you don't really need to do very much. He's died once. He's got a MAC-10. Really, in this round, he should be looking to farm up some cash, as you don't really want to be bringing that into the next round. For the CT side, they're basically in exactly the same position as the last round, except their opponents are a little bit richer.
Thank you, Tom. And well, ViCi, it is a couple of 5.7s. A P250 or Advent. Should just be another scenario, probably very similar to the last round, where we just see ViCi stack on the B-bomb site and Tyloo go A and job done. But this time, ViCi will probably actually try and do something. So probably just going to result in Tyloo taking a few easy kills, maybe here and there. ViCi pick off 1 or 2, but I'm hoping that it should be just Tyloo picking up 3-0.
On paper, it should be at least. I mean, you look at the position, though, ViCi are making that early rotate up. They start to realize, a bit of deja vu. Maybe this is the same as last time. Jam Young's going to take a fight down on short in just a second. He's got the angle. He's got the element of surprise, but somebody somehow wins it. Now we look over towards the B bomb site. It's completely open. This column should be going through, and they'll rotate the bomb back down. That's a great pick. If somebody falls, they run into a 4-man stack on the A site, but instead, they now get the site for free.
Flashes up in the air, a big kill from somebody taking down Zoking, and somebody continues to walk into the water, but Attacker, he's taken down 2, and now Kaze, well, can't do anything, but he is close by, so he might as well attempt, and somebody's run right back. He's just giving him his AK. I was like, you don't have a gun, all right, here, take this AK. What?
Because he was going to go hunting, right? He wanted to leave the AK there so he could go up to the A site and take the weapon out of the guy's hands. And he realizes he's actually given the weapon to him.
Cass probably just looking at it. He's like so focused, honed in. He's going to get the kill on somebody. The AK just comes out of his hand. He's like, what? It's just, you can
Genuinely,
see
he probably thought, like, he's like, why didn't it make a sound when it fell? It's like, he caught it midair.
It's just the next level BM. You give your opponent hope. It's the classic, like what they did with the jump the other day, where they jump behind and like get the knife kill, just to almost bait them into thinking they have a chance.
There's always somebody as well.
That's true. That's true. But he is the meme of Counter-Strike, where he just does things and gets away with it. This round, though, should be a little bit tougher. At least you'd hope. But they have actually ended up with 4 AKs in this round anyway. It's not that much of a bonus, and slowly the only one with a Mac 10, is already taken down to 12 HP, so shouldn't be expecting too much. Kaze is armorless though, and both Jamyoung and Orman and Advent don't have head armor, so that Mac 10 is still going to be pretty effective, although the one man who does have head armor is probably going to be the one they come into contact with.
Ooh, they pushed the Dan King up. He's hopped up. His head was shown for a little second there. And King available to take the fight, but they don't round the corner. Instead, he's going to do that, and that's not a good idea. But Mac 10 coming through. King completely blinded, fully white. He will take one down. He falls immediately after. Dan King getting the one kill, but ViCi come out on top. Very shortly lived, though. They lose two players quickly. Dan King tossing the Molotov, sees the player fleeing back into the bank. And, well, Tyloo can just hold this man advantage.
Just sit pretty on it at the moment. They've got the A side on lockdown. They're covering short, so it's an easy plant, really, or at least it was. But with summer falling, this gets a little bit more dangerous. Dan King, once that molly fades, can cross over to site, and they'll get that plant down. But oh, they can't afford to lose somebody. It's a 2v1. Dan King can isolate these fights, though. They're coming in from different angles, and he gets both, putting Tyloo up 4-0. That came really close, but just a second, a shot shy of winning that round. ViCi go down 4-0.
Oh dear, oh dear. It's happening, isn't it? It's the classic lose the first map, or win the first map, lose the second in a close sort of fashion, and then bang them out on the third. That's the classic Tyloo. That pretty much stands out for their mantra of, if you get to a third map versus us, you are screwed. And now this becomes another money-making exercise. They've still got a Mac 10 in play. They really are just having an absolute field day. This is a map that ViCi don't really play against them. And there's a reason for that, but I guess they thought this time maybe they'd fix some of the problems. It is still early days, but going 5-0 down on the CT side is not what we want to be seeing. King, though, as I said, one of the masters of the 5-7, has at least been able to open things up. However, he's not going to last very long.
Well, attacker with a headshot, Kaze going down, and well, a 4 versus 3, a man advantage in play for Tyloo. Pretty solid stuff at the moment as Advent just diving in with a CZ. It's going to work out for one kill, and he's now got an AK. Do a little bit more with this Advent. Oh, the spray, it was nearly not good enough, but at least he gets one kill out of that. Slowly an attacker doing enough work, and Alman now just searching for something on the floor. He's only been able to find a Mac 10, but we'll see what he can do with it.
Oh, that's so unlucky. 7 HP. Again, they make that round very, very costly, but until they eventually break Tyloo, this all becomes somewhat meaningless. Kaze going to be bringing in the AWP. They have enough for a secondary, but they don't seem to be a team that necessarily force it on a map like Overpass. It really is just down to situational basis. I would much rather see, for example, Kaze playing a rotational AWP than see someone else on the team pick it up and try and play it on the B side. It makes a lot less sense. Standard Molotov going to be thrown in. Smoke wasted and an HE thrown over, which actually almost kills slowly. Really nice nade usage. The thing is, though, they've done a lot of damage in a fair few of these early rounds. In fact, slowly's been taking the brunt of it. But they haven't actually done anything with it just yet. They've still lost, well, every single round.
For Tyloo, yeah, this is, oh, that's so good, but Jamyoung still gets that kill, then pulls a molly out and dies with it in his hand. Soaking down to the USP, slowly was so low, but it looks like he'll be dying slowly as he stays alive, at least for now. 12 HP on the board, but a 3 versus 3, and a potential to pull this round back after some great early duels by ViCi.
Yeah, slowly dying out, but 55 seconds in play. Kaze's yet to do anything. 0-0 and 5, but that might change here. Somebody looking to come into the A-bomb site. Or B-bomb site. Flashbangs are available. See if they can get rid of Kaze. Now he's going to get aggressive, walking right into them. Somebody going down. Now slowly, low HP. Summer has to do a little bit more work here. A little bit more pressures on him. Kaze scoped into a short, and this is a big round from Kaze. He delivers two. Summer tries his best, but it's only one kill. And finally, ViCi getting around on the board. They get the AWP over. That's important as well, because you're taking note of their economy. It's not in a good place at all.
Well, that's the problem here, isn't it? Is that this can't just be a one and done. Sure, we do see this quite often where Tyloo get into a fairly hefty lead and then they allow their opponents back into it by just being slightly overly aggressive. But normally in the third map, they don't make those same sort of mistakes, mainly because I think they know that it actually matters. But they've got the AWP, they've got rifles on every single player, and that's where, even look at utility. There's only one incendiary, and it's on Kaze, which I sort of mentioned before. If I'm seeing one of any type of grenade, I don't want to see it on the AWPer. Because chances are, he can't throw it and be scoped in time if somebody pushes through it. So either he's going to get caught with his pants down, or he's just not going to throw it at all.
As you said, you know, this can't be the one and done. And for ViCi, I'm seeing that little bit of aggression in towards Fountain that's now uncontested completely. If Zoking does decide to get that little bit more aggressive after this utility fades, as it now has, he'd spot out that they're going B, but it turns out Jam Young's the one to get that info the hard way as he falls straight away and a 5v4 ensues again with slowly so low, but somehow he just never dies. And Dan King, he's got a headshot through the smoke with the AWP that was straight into heaven on Alman. They've lost one player to a duel, and everyone else on ViCi has died through smokes.
Yeah, it's a terrible round for ViCi in terms of just getting absolutely destroyed by Tyloo's individual ability. And you can't help but feel bad for them, right? Because they did nothing monumentally wrong. I mean, they're in the smoke, they're playing close, they're holding their spot, but you got somebody just coming over the top of a smoke, just tearing your head right off. It's impossible to deal with. And Tyloo, just a quick play into the B-bomb site in the end, just the contact explosion onto the site is too much to handle for ViCi. And it's 6-1, and they do a really good job at not letting Kaze get involved. I mean, Kaze has been all over the map. He started on B in the last round. He's up towards A, having to save in this one. You want to see Kaze involved as much as possible, and sometimes I feel like that's ViCi's downfall. Sometimes they misuse Kaze. I think in particular, we're talking about Mirage, is a map that he just kind of is always in these awkward positions where he's having to play towards ticket box, or he's smoked off and he can't get involved. I feel like sometimes ViCi underutilize Kaze.
Tom, what do you make of a round like that? What do they need to do better?
Okay, headshot through smoke.
Solid
Probably
advice.
a good one. This is probably a good one. If you don't stand behind the smoke, you can't get headshot through it.
All right, and with that, we're going to put Tom forward for some analyst positions on teams. I think he can bring a lot of value.
You know what?
If you're looking
sign him
for a
up,
team,
coach.
I would say Tyloo. I would love to see Tom as an analyst or a coach for Tyloo for like just a best of 3, just a full best of 3. I would love to hear those comms.
What I would basically do is, you know, like a sort of dead man switch. I'd have one of those, but it would connect to the W key of somebody. So, like, basically, if he started just running forward, I'd just let go, and then he wouldn't be able to move anymore. Genius. They'd win every game.
I think, honestly, it would just be hilarious, because I think, especially in proper coaching rules... Oh, hold on. Pistol up close. Advent's managed to pick up one. He's got an AK now on the back of it. His teammates on the rotate through. Yes, they've lost a lot of HP, but it's a 4v2. Even if Advent falls to the molly, which he inevitably will, they've still got the man advantage. Kaze with the op, and here comes Zoking to try and finish it off, but it won't even be him that's needed. Look at the flank coming in. Kaze takes the headshot anyways. Alman was about to flank out and win that. That was a great round by ViCi.
Yeah, more confident, more proactive on the CT side. And that's what we want to see. We want to see them take matters into their own hands and be confident against this Tyloo T side. Because if you're going to give them too much respect, that's exactly what Tyloo want. They want to drain you of the info. They want to get into the position where they can just 5-man explode onto a bomb site without you being aware and having players rotated or pushed up anywhere on the map. And that's what I want to see from ViCi, is just the confidence.
I think with traditional coaching rules, back to Tom coaching, that would be the best thing that I can ever imagine seeing. So like they call a pause and they're like, Tom, what do we do? He's like, okay, listen, we're gonna do this. Play slow, play your defaults, and he goes, okay, good luck, guys. And he stands back, and then they all just rush through smokes. And I could just imagine him like throwing all the paper up in the air, storming off the stage, just being like, "What's the point? What's the point of me being here?"
I just bring a cattle prod with me.
It's like somebody steps inside of smoke.
It's effective.
but
Maybe
then-
not be able to do anything after it, but
That's gorgeous by
Zoking.
Zoking.
yeah, that's brilliant. I mean, this is much better from Zoking already in comparison to his Inferno performance. And while Dan King catches him, the bomb is down in the toilet. And somebody's just got to kill an Advent. So all that hard work that Zoking did at the start of the round is for nothing now. Tyloo have pulled it back. A 3 versus 3. Defense is pretty weak right now for ViCi. And Tyloo still have time. 30 seconds here. You got to eventually pick where they want to go, and Dan King is committing to the smoke on the A bomb site. Rotating player coming up from the B bomb site. They do have limited time now, so they aren't going to commit to this A bomb site. Couple of prongs to the approach, and Kaze's over here with the AWP. We'll see if it's enough to get ViCi a 3rd round on the board as they hold on. The attack starts to come through. A chance here for Kaze. Drops Dan King. Now the push coming out from long. 8 seconds. You have to start getting on that plant immediately as they arrive to the bomb site. And Kaze, a nice shot, but the bomb goes down. And now somebody trying to win the clutch. Oh, it's so low. 1 HP on Kaze. He plays with the smoke. He peeks to the left side. And he's a player that can win these kind of rounds for Tyloo. He's a player that's in your nightmares. You close your eyes and you see somebody, and he only gets 1. And it will be the ViCi round, but there's always a risk there. There's always a scary scenario in which somebody is about to pull one of those rounds off.
So I really like that round by ViCi. I think that obviously he came back into 3v3, but that was more, I'd put that down to Tyloo doing really well on the duels, more so than mistakes by ViCi. The player that they lost down towards the B site, they'd actually gone for aggression on short, down in water, and they were holding the position. But he got caught off by a push that came down a little bit later on. It was an aim duel, one that they kind of had to take because they wanted to heavy rotate up towards the A site, and to do that, you kind of need your aggressive short control. But it was nice proactive control by Tyloo, even though they'd already lost players towards toilet, to still try and contest for the B water. On that, they got a 3v3. The push into site is obviously Kaze just shut them down and managed to pull that back. But I think I can't really fault their approach to the round. It was just really good by Tyloo to still be able to get those kills. And it's something they excel at. We mentioned it a couple of times previously in previous Tyloo series. But this is a team that whenever they lose the opening duels, they have a staggeringly high rate of coming back into maps. And to put it in context, normally it's about 25% of the time that you lose an opening duel, you find the round win. And that includes on the T side when you find a trade right away, right? So say, for example, Alman swings on short, he kills one, he dies right away. That counts if they win the round then, but obviously that's a good position for them. But for Tyloo, it's something like 40% on a lot of maps, 35 to 40, which is insane.
A lot of statistics for Tyloo are just completely nonsensical, right? Because they play in the Asian region. They're just so much better. They just get the crazy stuff going on. But Summer just taking down Soaking with a Tech 9. Kaze and Jam Young fighting back. It'll be the round for ViCi. 3 off the back of Kaze's ult.
Jesus, I've never seen this before, Dicko. Never in my life have I seen this. So, Tyloo on this map, remember, they've played ViCi twice, and they've played Beyond once. So they have played some of the best teams in this region. In those maps, 85.7% of the time they found the opening duel, they won the round. Okay, that's pretty normal. Like, that's good. I'd say 75 to 80 is normal. So they do pretty well. 52% of the time that they lose the opening duel, they come back and win the round. That's insane. I've never seen anything nearly more than half the time that you get the opening frag and you're like, hey, we've got the man advantage. Tyler,
yeah, they win
no.
more than they lose in that scenario. It's just
That's stupid.
It's so
That's
dumb.
stupid.
I think that just kind of speaks volumes at how far ahead Tyloo actually are than any of the teams
that
this
Tyloo are ridiculous.
Yeah, exactly. Statistically. But it also shows that ViCi are pretty trash on the map. Like, you see that, obviously, they've played it twice versus Tyloo and given them that statistic for the most part. Again, they're 62% of the time they find the opening duel, they win the round. And so it shows how poor ViCi are at holding on to the early round advantages. And I'd put that down to, like, a lot of the time you've got someone like Advent who's left on important map control towards B, who can't really win those fights when he's required to, as we saw previously on B short.
We'll see if that plays out the same way here. They've got that opening kill, Mitch. Advent's under the pressure. Jam Young No damage, but Almond actually takes the kill. There goes Advent, but Jam Young stepping up. This is going to be one of the rounds that ViCi actually end up winning. So slowly, and Dan King last alive. Dan King will do his best. He's got one headshot. Oh, and a second. Okay, maybe there is a chance here. Maybe we add to the 52%. Dan King taps the bomb, pulls them into the open, but he's got time to play with. They're rotating down. He fakes again. Eventually, you got to realize you can actually plant here, Dan King. There we go. You get that bomb down, but now winning the one. That was the stupid. That was.
How did he know?
I think his back was poking out.
Right. Okay.
Yeah. So he goes for the plan. But he could have planted like so many times there. Dan King could have won that, but
they need the money as well.
Yeah.
Like, they really need the money. Like that bomb plant's probably the difference between them buying in this round.
Let me just cross away from where there's a smoke and the boxes are more difficult to shoot through to go to the other side of the bomb site where I have to cross into the open and go to a more dangerous plant spot.
At the same time, if he found that kill on the Kaze, he probably won the round. Like, I think it was a worthwhile risk to take in a 2v1, especially because he was just hitting the shots, trying to force the fight. A decent percentage of the time, that Opera is going to swing a little wider to look at default and try to shut you down, or maybe throw a nade through as well, right? If you had a molly or a frag grenade left. So I think Dan King probably made a decent play, just that it got shut down. But like, if Kaze was one step further forward, like one pixel further, he might have actually died in that situation.
I don't know, from the replay, I didn't actually see any part of Dan King. So maybe it was just, yeah. Or if Dan King planning the bomb, I didn't see any part of him in Kaz's POV. So maybe he just kind of heard the sound and went for the wall bind.
He did hear the steps go further wide, right? So yeah, he probably presumed, okay.
Oh, actually hit that. Slowly down to 39 on the flick, but Jam Young, he's got that opening. So King following up. Tyloo crumbling.
Tom, do you believe? But never mind.
Believe in what? Believe in what? Two fairy Santa? Yes. What are we going for?
In life after love. I've been introducing Tom to the rule that myself and Jason came up with, the 4 Deagle law. We called it the Mason rule.
Okay.
Yeah, but your rule is not as good at predicting rounds as just I am randomly. With like, oh, this one doesn't feel too good, and then they just lose.
Something happens.
Kaze's actually hit some really nice shots. That one that he hit from Monster when the players were pushed out, like the swift flick to the right in the solid 3K A-hold he had, was unreal.
Yeah, Kaze's been pretty impressive so far. I think in a couple of the earlier rounds, they didn't really get him involved. He was kind of a little unlucky in some of the positions he ended up in. And because the money has never really been in a good spot, he can't actually commit to the retakes or commit to the rounds where they have a chance to win. But there's just too much risk involved in terms of losing that AWP. But now look at the money. They can take a few more risks now. They can definitely involve Kaze a lot more across the server. And well, 6-6. Tyloo's money is on the ropes, and Kaze, he's gone aggressive towards long. Attackers in the bathroom. The playground. Depends. I suppose some people might use the playground as a bathroom. Some questionable smell. Yeah, but there is some questionable smelling playgrounds.
Kids play there.
Yeah, exactly. But in the UK, some people. So I've walked through some parts and they do stink.
That's the. Oh, some people did that.
Oh, I have never went to the bathroom in a playground.
I don't believe you.
Dingo does seem like the kind of guy that would.
Yeah,
on the swing.
Definitely.
On the swing.
Oh, another one.
Not even on the seat, on the rope, just so it stays sucky for longer.
Oh, and that's too far.
And swiftly moving on. Dan King with the wall bind. He's dropped Kaze down to 7 HP, barely standing. I think he actually might have hit 2 wall binds there, so Kaze's a little fortunate to be alive. This is just one of those rounds. You know the outcome. It's just a little slow, though. At this point, Tyloo, their money is so far gone. Good kill from Summer. It's all on ViCi now. They make a couple of mistakes. They could let Tyloo back into this. Kaze, oh no. Misses the shot, but luckily Summer just sees red and decides to run onto the bomb site. He'll go down to Advent, and Advent just swings on by. There was a flank kill he did as well. It was destined to be ViCi's round win. As it's 7-6, Tyloo go into this round with barely anything. So they could go for a couple of deagles. Tom, how you feeling about this one?
I think somebody will get a kill or two, but I don't think there should be much more. The thing is, I think ViCi are one of the teams that are normally better at quelling these anti-eco rounds. They still let a few slip and win a few themselves, but that's sort of forgivable. Whereas when we look at some of the other teams in the tournament, there is no round that they cannot lose. So, yeah. This one is going to be even tougher, though, because Tyloo only have 3 players. And so did the CT side as well. They've switched into a 3v3 situation, which for the defense is going to be much harder to hold.
Yeah, we've decided to spice it up a little bit going into this final final map. Obviously, we see these teams play against each other so often that, we wanted to spice up the format slightly. Then that got ruined. Slowly's back.
By the way, boys,
Black clearly needs to take a leaf out of these guys' books. I bet they listened and actually restarted their modem.
Yeah, this guy, he's been told by like 7 different engineers, restart your modem, and he's just sat there
Have
saying,
you tried
no.
turning it off and on?
Dude, honestly, my cousin used to work in tech support for Microsoft, and I remember telling me a guy
My dad
rang
works at Microsoft.
And, my dad would kill your dad in a 1v1 on Rust. But yeah, my cousin worked there, and he told me about this guy that rang up, and he was getting really annoyed, and he was on the phone for 25 minutes. He was like, I bought this Xbox and it's not working and all this sort of stuff. He had it hooked up to the TV. He had the controllers charged. The TV was on. He put it on HDMI. It just wasn't working, and it was a scam and this and that. And literally at the very end of the call, he goes, yeah, just unplug it and bring it back. And whatever way he said it, the guy was like, wait, what? He hadn't plugged it into the wall for electricity. He had hooked it up to the TV and imagined it would randomly work.
You know those videos where it's like the calls that people receive, and there was the one where it was like Tesco or Sainsbury's or someone. They got a call of a guy just screaming down the phone about how his pizza didn't have any topping, and then he goes, "Oh, it's upside down."
Oh my god! Oh my god! That's depressing. Well, at least the game's back on, so can forget about that mess. As Tyloo, they're being shredded. They're being absolutely torn apart by ViCi here. This is a very good retake. Not even a retake, because the bomb hasn't got down yet, but Attacker, he wants to attack. Tom, get the cattle prod out, because he's in the smoke. And this is something I thought about it, Tom. Your strategy wouldn't be that great, because somebody would stand inside the smoke. You'd stab him with the cattle prod, and Tyloo on the other side of the stage would be like, he's tasered him again. He's in the smoke. Spray, spray.
He plays for Tyloo.
I want to say so. ViCi would be on the other side. Yeah, good point. Good point. I think Tyloo would know he's in the smoke.
Yeah, but then I'd just do it every once in a while just to throw him off.
Just run over and start. So he's doing something completely right and just. Sorry, I have to do fake info.
You know what, Tom?
Yeah,
I think what you should do is actually just stab the other team.
Sneak over, start zapping them.
Yeah, but they've not hired me. That is assault. Whereas
there's something in the contract you're allowed to stab all of the players of the cup.
You don't stab. Like, why are you saying stab? You prod. It's in the name.
You stab it in, but you dig it into the skin.
What? Jesus. Right. Think you're very violent. There's torture in these. We want to teach them a lesson.
Exactly.
I do not condone that level of violence. Cat prodding is fine.
Slightly lesser level of violence.
That smoke just went into the heart.
Oh no!
Jam Young, I feel so bad for this guy. He threw a smoke onto the Molotov and it just bounced. Ugh. Well, Advent, he's sitting behind the barrels. He's still alive. And then he gives away his position. They know where he is. They're going to be chasing him down, looking for him. He's still alive, though, and Alman has managed to find slowly, so it's a 4 versus 4. Finally, Advent goes down. He was just asking for death, really, this entire round. And now a flashbang going through from Kaze to allow an easy peek for King as he shuts down somebody. This is a pretty good retake attempt so far from ViCi. They move forward. Another kill being picked up for King, but they're not going to check the backside. There's a player off the left side. They've already cleaned him up, and there it is. Alman with the doubles, and we'll be able to pick it up. And it's 9-6 going into the second half. ViCi leading the way.
Good stuff by ViCi. I mean, they're in a decent position now. At least CT side didn't go terribly for them. They got off to a very, very slow start. And I mean, look at that streak of buy rounds that they managed to find. Yes, a lot of them were close. I mean, Tyloo did end up in a position where they're in 1v1s or 1v2s. And a lot of these times, like Dan King over on the B side, came very close to winning out one. And that would have really been the line in the sand where we would have said that I think ViCi were in a bad spot. But the fact that they managed to come back into this half and still walk out with their heads held high, I think this is a very positive sign for this lineup.
Kind of nice finally seeing a win.
Here we go. Pistol round.
It's an important one. ViCi coming into summer. He's going to be holding on the first headshot. Here's the second as well. That's a good relocation. And then micro adjustment of the crosshair. And he will flick up, finding the head. And what we've got ourselves a 3 versus 4. A man advantage in for Tyloo. And somebody, he's in a somebody position here. They're going to check him. They're going to go around the corner. Kaze was so aware. They might have spotted him actually just as he moved. But Advent trying his best to hold off this short aggression. 3 versus 3 still. Over a minute left on the clock. And here go ViCi into the B bomb site. Smoke some flashes up in towards the site itself. Tyloo currently have 2 players towards the start of the map. One of them being Dan King, who's now dead.
Dead King, more like. Advent's come in with another, and I think at this point, Tyloo are pretty much locked out. Good to see ViCi manage this. Obviously, the bomb's still on the rotate over. Attacker, no, he won't get there in time, right? They're already crossed over. They're in a position. Oh, that's dangerous. Advent, though, should have covered. These players can swing wide and help him out if he gets pushed down. And for Attacker, I really don't see him getting much done in this situation. He's got to hit some sick shots really, really quickly. Because all 3 of these guys are ready to just swing on out. And you look at it, he's nicely fallen back off the angle. 1 bullet away from taking Advent. Kaze very low as well. I could have worked out, but ultimately, the numbers were just too great.
This shot from Summer was so sick. The second one especially.
Oh yeah,
I don't know why I spent a lot of that round thinking about like when Jam Young gets older, will he call himself Old Jam? Which doesn't quite work out. It doesn't sound as good.
Jam, middle-aged.
Do you know what the biggest scam is right now? It's a random fact. The 3080s, right? You know the way they're out? They advertise with them, get a free copy of Watch Dogs 2 when you buy the 3080s. Wow. I get a AAA game for free. It's supposedly quite good. I heard the first one was trash. The second one's supposed to be all right. You can get it free on the Epic Games Store anyways. It's free right now. Like I
think I got with my graphics card, I bought I think it was Mafia 3. I genuinely think I've played about 8 minutes of that game.
Mafia 2 is unreal, dude. Have you played Mafia 2?
No.
Game's fantastic. I don't know about 1, I never played it, but 2, amazing game. 3, I heard was meh. It was all right. I got Destiny 2 with mine. I bought a 1080 a long time ago. I got Destiny 2, and I'm not even kidding. A month later, it was free. It's like, wow. Thank you, guys. Thank you so much for this free gift a month early.
I've also played for you as well.
2 hours of that game because it's, not my style.
Blair loves that. Blair loves that. Plays a lot of it. Well, Summer, he brings down Jam Young. Ned's going to go through, and Summer, oh my god, 3 kills on the scout. Summer just absolutely tearing them to shreds. And slowly, we'll get one on the Deagle. Tyloo win the round, and we go into the scoreline of 10-7. Tyloo, well, they have AKs now.
AKs galore.
You always win these rounds. So annoying. Did you like my Irish accent earlier?
I didn't hear it.
It was really good.
Yeah, it was fantastic.
Do it again. Can you do an Irish Chinese accent?
No, we said that was
no, we actually mentioned that I would like to keep my job, so and I imagine that would be the most offensive thing to every nation on the planet.
Yeah, sure. I'll give it a shot.
Okay.
You can see ViCi coming in to look for the A site now, and they're going to be doing fantastic. Now, you might be thinking that's just an Irish accent, but that's what Paddy O'Shea sounds like. He grew up in Ireland, all right? He's no different than any of us, you sick. Anyways. Enough about your prejudice, Tom. Jesus. It's 10-7, and for ViCi, you know, they've only got the pistols. As we said, this should be nice and easy, nice and clean for Tyloo. They'll get back up on 10-8, close in that scoreline a little bit. I don't see much of an... Whoopsie daisies. Nice shot by Summer. And then there was silence.
This one, we just let it play out a little bit. It's one of those rounds you can definitely catch your breath because there's nothing happening that's worth talking about right now.
I don't know about that. PAX 2020 is on right now. It's live at the moment. I don't know how they're doing it because there's obviously no audience, but that's noteworthy.
Well, Jam Young might just win this, so that's worthy of my speech. And well, he's gonna tap the bomb onto the A bomb site. He's gonna look for another kill, and he's dropped Summer down to 1 health point. He's gonna go for it again, but Summer, of course, just runs straight at him. Knows he's gonna commit to the plant this time around. And he gives Tyloo an 8th round on the board, but there's always a world in which Jam Young might have been able to pull that off.
That force buy win's going to end up being the kicker, isn't it? It'll be classic Tyloo style where everything looks to be slipping away from them. They lose the first half, they lose the pistol, and then just out of nowhere they win like a really sort of cheesy force buy with Deagles, and that's just enough to relight the fire behind the team. And obviously this round, there's absolutely nothing. A full eco, no flash, no pistols, no nothing. Just saving up for the next round buy. And this is a chance for Tyloo to just make some cash. And well, Dan King had that in mind. Just goes running into mid with a UMP. And well, that is round over. 10-9, cash built, AWP bought. And now we get to see what the T's have to offer.
Finally, feels like we haven't seen anything from ViCi in the second half so far, and Tyloo have just been able to win everything. So we'll see if they can show us something here on the T side. They definitely need to pick up around here. Otherwise, they're going to start forgetting how to win, and that's when Tyloo just take it over the line. So it's going to be a quick play from ViCi trying to impact in this B bomb site right off the bat. Slowly he's gone aggressive in towards water with the Molotov. It's going to prevent him from walking around the backside, and well, they've just traded position. Slowly leaves B and just gives it away to ViCi, and attacker's feet have been spotted. He is taken down, and ViCi have the B bomb site.
All the swings out, slowly is able to take down Advent, and we look into a position now where ViCi, they've got to try and hold on desperately. This is such an important round, and the 3v3 doesn't look ideal for them, but time is starting to tick away. 20 seconds to get in there and start the defuse. Molly pushes Kaze out of position. He can't contest on the ramp, but his teammates now all lined up to cover each other. Kaze has the angle through the wood, hasn't been spotted just yet, and he could be able to fly under the radar. Jam Young in danger, though, being held by this op, and they're going to tap that bomb. That's going to cause the swing to come through. Dan King catches Kaze off. The missed shot by Dan King. The round's already gone as Jam Young eliminates slowly, and with that, an 11th for ViCi. Dan King even dies as well, losing the op, and that's going to cause significant reinvestment for the Tyloo side. That's a kick in the gut.
Well, ViCi will be very happy with that call. Just a straight up simple call. You've been in these rounds where you just haven't had guns out for such a long time, and they decided to rush into that B bomb site. I love the change in pace, Tom.
Yeah, it's one of those rounds as well where Tyloo are lucky in a sense that they built up so much money over the last few rounds. Otherwise, this would be a pretty awkward spot to be in. And actually, ViCi's own purchase, because of how much damage they took in the last round, is also going to be pretty awkward. So it's going to basically decide whether or not Tyloo are going to get themselves right back into this, or if the lead can be extended for ViCi. And again, they're slowly leading themselves towards a hugely advantageous position, but I still feel like Tyloo have got this, even though they've not really shown anything to sort of go alongside that. Something's just going to arise from the depths, and eventually they'll get it over the line.
You know, we always talk about Tyloo's switch, right? As Dinko loves to talk about knobs on walls, but
Hey,
for
that's
me, it's just
That's Tom's thing.
it's an on and off switch, right? And if Tyloo have that, if this is the real Tyloo, because we've seen them struggle in the past, but then that game versus Beyond is really where it just shines through. We're talking the whole time about, ooh, are they actually gonna 16-2? And if they can do that here, fantastic. Slowly, full blind, he gets away with that kill. Of course he does. He's down to a USP. Here's another one. You can almost feel it. And he does most of the work. Attacker just finishing it off. And ViCi really not having a good time on that B push.
Yeah, this is the kicker as well. That is their money in the dirt. It's going to be back to pistols. Tyloo with a chance to equalize. And well, if they do want an AWP, even Jam Young can't afford to invest anything here. Again, it's a little bit disjointed. Like, Zoking was out, then you've got Jam Young sort of waiting. One player pushed through the smoke, one decided to stay. I feel like there has to be more communication there. You can't just rely on one player running into the site because it allows for those individual duels to come in. And while Tyloo are pretty much renowned for winning the majority of those, and it is just going to be the case of, okay, Advent's invested a little bit extra, but Jam Young's trying to set up Kaze into the next round, so they will have a trade of weaponry. They're going to try it again, just running into this B site. This time, a little bit more synergy behind it. The Advent trying to open things up. The man with the Kevlar, the man with the extra invested, and it's nothing. Tyloo completely clean. Somebody padding those stats a little bit more, or something he does quite regularly. And while 11-11, Tyloo definitely in the driver's seat now.
Yeah, they've shifted gears for sure. I think ViCi are starting to feel the heat coming into this round. They've obviously got their investment, but after this, it'll be an eco. It'll be 13-11 if Tyloo, if they lose. That is a tough one for them to face. And obviously the CT side have really alleviated any money issues with how clean the previous rounds have been. Pressure's on, and ViCi going for the fast play, moving down towards the B side, slowly, blind, mollied, somehow, again, he's gotten a kill and got away. Eventually, they shut him down, but slowly, somehow goes into these situations where he looks as good as dead and manages to pull something out of the bag. Somebody does the same, and oh, attacker dying with only just one. This is now winnable for the T side, although a little more difficult with Kaze falling.
Well, it'll be the Galil Valmont. It does well enough, but somebody's going to win the 1 versus 1. 12-11 for Tyloo. Somebody delivers a big round. And this might just be where Tyloo tip the scales and end this series again as the victors. Because right now, grabbing control, they're edging it out each and every time. ViCi had a little flash in the pan. Other than that, it has been the Tyloo show in the second half. And somebody has been playing really well today, and I feel like just recently as well, you know, first couple of games he looked a little quieter, first couple of maps even yesterday, but he's been fantastic when they've needed him.
Tom, what do you make of the ViCi overpass? How are you feeling about it so far?
CT side was alright, but it sort of started to slip away towards the end, which is normally something we see quite regularly from teams. T side, not really seen anything yet. Some of that's just such a ridiculous play. Like, you know what's being invested into this round, or you have to at least have a decent idea. And they're getting aggressive, and it looks like Tyloo are about to get Tylooed as the getting absolutely ruined. And one by one they fall. Just hand it away, attacker. Just give it up, pack it in. Let the next round begin, and slowly, no chance. None. Nada. Zero. Zilch.
Ooh. Well, slowly does catch out Zoking, and I don't think ViCi are the type of team just to throw this all away, so it will be a round picked up. Almond secures the 12th round. I mean, we're talking about Tyloo tipping the scales and maybe looking like the team really going to take this. I think that's just what we've been conditioned to believe, and maybe count ViCi out a little bit at times, but there's still anybody's game right now. We're still 12-12 on the server. ViCi, they've shown they can take maps off Tyloo. They've shown that they can bring the right to the brink. Probably could have won this series 2-0 if just a few things went right towards the end of the previous map. So this could certainly still be picked up by ViCi. 4 rounds away from victory. They should be taking the lead here. Should be heading 13-12 up. But these are the kind of rounds that Tyloo seem to always win when it's late in the game, when it's important, when ViCi need to win a round. Tyloo always seem to step up in these kind of situations.
We can put it down to them being slow to warm up or whatever we want to say, but the reality is ViCi, as you said, they're in a good spot, and I think, yeah, we've been conditioned to understand that Tyloo will always come back in towards the end of these games, but it doesn't mean that that's going to be the way it always is. As we look in towards the later stage of this game, obviously the weak buy that's in play for Tyloo has cost them a lot. They've got pistols around this, but a very aggressive force buy. I don't know if they're really in a position. Well, no, I do know. I don't think they should be feeling like they're in a position where they can take this kind of aggressive investment, because losing this one out puts 14-12 on the board for ViCi. I really disagree with this. It's a confident statement, definitely, but a very risky one for a team that hasn't looked convincing in this series. It'd be different if they were 10-5 up or something. Well, obviously that'd be halftime, but still, you know what I mean? If they had a convincing lead.
Yeah.
But it has been tight the whole way, and tanking. He's turning up on the op, though, making the difference.
No. I mean, at least it's not the pistols, but still this round is going to go in favor of Tyloo, and yeah, now slowly showing up. Advent will take him down, but there's still 2 players down in this round, and there's only 18 seconds left for the T side to do something. ViCi. It's like they just know Tyloo on a low buy and they just stop working. The players just freeze.
Well, not going to go their way once again. It does just seem to be the case where exactly when they need to step up, things just slip away. Tyloo bounce back and get themselves the lead once again.
It's stupid.
I genuinely do start to wonder if this is just like a mental block. Like, they win a huge round off the back of some crazy pistol play, and then they go, well, it would be rude to win in this way, and then gives them the round back.
Well, at least they've got money. At least they've got weapons coming into this one. It's not going to be Tyloo winning off the pistol, sending ViCi down to the low buy for the rest of the game, closing it, breaking the hearts again. We swiftly move on. Everything's right in the world. And our earlier prediction off camera, where we said this is going to be a game that's going to go all 3 maps, all the rounds, and Tyloo are going to win anyway, as usual, it might just play out that way, Tom, because that's exactly how these series go pretty much every time we get to see them.
Well, gotta try and get something done here. Dan King, he's been decent this game.
Yeah, much better.
Not had a worldie of a performance like we have seen in the past, but he's been consistently hitting his shots, which is exactly what we need to see from him. It's not really been too many like massive underperformers across this whole series, just differing players, and he's just been all through the wall. You got to be careful as well, as there's players right next to him. Summer, it's a TK! Orman's just killed his teammate, and then Advent goes down anyway. The worrying thing is you can actually see your teammates through the smoke, so the excuse doesn't really go there anymore.
Yeah, it's just chaotic spray going through. Well, at least a couple of kills to come back in. It's a 3 versus 3, 19 seconds, Mitch.
That can work out. ViCi need this round, but Dan King, he's a sole defender here, doing a lot of work with the op and shutting them down. ViCi, no hope anymore, and they're trying to save this weapon, but Dan King doesn't want them to get away. Kaze tucked in, and he dies after time as well. $1,000 left for him. That is a massive win for Tyloo. And ViCi, it came so close. They clawed their way into that round, but Dan King, he's having a lights-out series. 24 kills on the board after that one. That is phenomenal.
Yeah, and I think that might just be one of the final straws right now. This is where ViCi are going to crumble. It's just, there's no signs of life anymore. After they lost, Dan King has just stepped up. He's hitting everything. He's just confident. He's taking these fights. And now Tyloo, well, they're 2 away from victory. ViCi have thrown everything at this. And it's a quick B hit. They're sprinting in towards this B-bomb site. Slowly trying his best to beat this B anchor. And he's not going to get a single kill. King and Jam Young taking down 2. Luckily, Attacker is available for 1 kill. There's a 3 versus 4 favoring ViCi.
Ooh. Kaze is almost dead. I believe that might have been a nade just being dunked onto him. 4 HP. Doesn't have anything in this round. Jam Young's just caught another one. I think the CT side are going to have to duck out of this.
Yeah.
They've made it work. They scraped it together. And it is going back and forth. Even still, Tyloo's still in the lead. But I think they've realized that if they're going to have a purchase into the next round, they need to save everything. And they're going to have heard that AWP. I don't know if they'll expect Ormond to be this close around the corner. Oh, it's awkward. And he survives. He just got saved by a fence.
That's huge, though. That is so huge because Dan King's AWP's gone now. They're going to have to scrap everything. You can buy an AWP, obviously. He's 6k, but look at the rest of the team. Oh, Tyloo have a decision. Do they just... I hope they make the right one. Just 14-14, that's fine. Get the buyout. Let Dan King save some money over. Somebody obviously in a real bad position right now, $1,400. But this is a little bit grim for Tyloo. And of course, here comes the buy. On Dan King.
What? Why? How? What? Hello? What is this investment?
I need a hero.
Yeah, well,
Okay.
like, well, just why? Just why would they do
Round
that?
28 as well, Mitch. Round 28.
I mean, this is there's why? If you lose this round, you're not going to have the op. I don't know what's happening.
He's gotta be tough.
Tom, this is one of the situations where, like, you'd be coaching them, I'd be in the crowd, you'd have the pause, you'd have the
You're
discussion.
stabbing them with the
and, like,
camel plot.
I'd run up on stage, rip your notes up, and just throw them at them, be like, "What is wrong with you? This is crazy." I mean, like, this kind of investment. Oh,
Okay,
God, they're gonna win
here we
it. They're gonna win
go,
it, Tom.
Mitch.
Straight away, you know it. Jam Young, he's coming in with 2. Massive play. Molly going through as well to try and discount that USP. When it comes down to these 2 rifles, they'll be able to save them at least. They'll run away to the other side of the map. It's okay. It's not the end of the world for Tyloo. They made the investment, but they carry the rifles forward, and that's the important part. Had this have been an A hit, I would be pulling my hair out. I'd look like Tom by the end of the series.
Well, except uglier, of course. But yeah, I get what you mean. Bald. Yeah, it's going to be 14-14. There is no brakes on this train, as it will be going all the distance.
By the way, Tom,
You're getting off at the last stop. You don't have a choice.
I forgot to tell you, Tom, the other day, just on the subject of you being bald, there was an absolutely fantastic... I got a Snapchat the other day for the first time in years. Didn't even know I still had it installed. As one of the guys...
Tom Bizza filter.
It actually genuinely was. He, one of the guys I've worked with in the past, Excitable.
Yeah, I've been receiving. Yeah. My sisters have been sending me pictures of them bald, and like one of my sisters go like, because obviously the joke when you're younger is to tell your sister or brother that they are adopted. It's a very fun joke. You talk about how the postman, but it's more of an insult to your mum than anything. But anyway. And she basically used the filter, and it is true that we are definitely related because it did look like me. So there you go. Well, we clearly had similar facial features.
This guy's Scottish, and I just read it perfectly in his. He went, "Hey, I'm Tom Bess." It was just gorgeous. It's just so funny.
Oh, aye.
What was that? Did you just have a stroke? Someone call an ambulance. Tom's had a stroke. He needs help.
No. Dinko's the one that has a stroke, but it's a little bit late in the day.
No, it's right when he gets up, remember? He wakes up and a few minutes later he feels better. After he gets it off.
Okay. Dan King, anyway, most important round of the game so far, gentlemen. Let's get into this. Dan King and Summer finding kills. And Tyloo, they've got the man advantage, and they're following up as well. 15-14. Tyloo, of course, do it to them. It's just Kaze looking to pull it off. He's the star of the team, although maybe he's being overshadowed by Jam Young at the moment in terms of the performance. There's Kaze to try and prove he's still the top dog. He's got the damage on to Summer. 20 HP left as he switches out to the rifle. Take note of the time. 35 seconds, so not a whole lot of time for Kaze to work this one out.
Definitely a difficult clutch to make happen, the 1v3. As he starts to move over towards connector, I think they've got an angle on that as well. No, they've pulled back a little bit. It looks like Summer's swapping in between, watching it and playing that a little bit more passive, but he's not looking for connector anyways. Kaze wants to go towards this side. No idea that Summer's up close. It comes very close, and he gets that shot as well. Down to him versus Slowly, but 4 seconds. There just isn't enough time and so he'll save over that AWP at least. This is Tyloo on map and series point. They were just 2 rounds away from being 2-0'd by ViCi.
Oh, they're gonna do it again with MP9s. You can't end both maps in the same way.
Oh, but it's Tyloo, so of course they can, Tom.
That's what Tom's forgetting. He's forgetting the region. He's forgetting the team. Tyloo can do whatever the hell they want. That's just it's just a fact, and we've seen that play out again and again and again and again
and again
and again.
80 maps, so 83 maps or something like that, Mitch. So keep going.
Jeez. And again 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 and again. What number am I at?
Again.
I lost count.
Lost count. Restart.
Okay, we've seen them do it again and again. We'll be here till the end of this series, which might be another hour or so, because I could see overtime's coming out. I could see it happening, but so far it has just been this back and forth series. For ViCi, though, it is time to now show up. They've struggled on their T side to get these rounds connected. Tyloo have been looking better. And with MP9s, and MP9 in play, FAMAS as well, this is where they look to end it. Summer with the opening duel and a good start for Tyloo in what could be a massive comeback in this series to dominate ViCi for what feels like the millionth time.
I think there needs to be a scientific study done into the brains of the ViCi players. I really do think there's just no way they can win against Tyloo. There's just something blocking them from being able to do it. How many times have we seen them have the perfect opportunity? They have a situation where they're up against just a couple of weapons in play that are actually invested from Tyloo. And when I'm saying invested, I mean a couple of deagles, a little bit of Tech 9 action sprinkled in there a little bit earlier on in the earlier maps. It's impossible to beat Tyloo, it seems, for this ViCi roster. Literally impossible. And we'll see if they can do anything. Dan King, he's been their nightmare in the bathrooms. And well, he finds Almond, gets rid of him, and it's a 2-man advantage followed up for Dan King, and there it is. Everything is right in the world, at least in Asian Counter-Strike. Tyloo continue to go undefeated against ViCi. 16-14 on the final map. They just can't win. ViCi cannot win.
Yeah, exactly as planned.